After the massive success that was Zelda Breath of the Wild and kind of the dud disappointment that was Sonic Forces, it only made sense for the Sonic team to think of a more ambitious follow-up, and that's Sonic Frontiers. There were some short trailers last year at the Game Awards, then earlier last month, IGN finally showed a few different trailers for Sonic Frontiers. So in this video, I'm going to kind of give my thoughts in this game, kind of talk about what our expectations are, and if I think this game is actually going to be good. But before I get into any of that, if you're new to the channel, definitely think about subscribing, hitting that like button. I have a lot of new videos and content coming out, including a brand new Zelda Breath of the Wild video coming out later this week. So let's, without any further ado, let's take a look at Sonic Frontiers. If you could believe it or not, this game has actually been in development since about 2017, and the Sonic team was really trying to have this game come out by 2021 for the big 30th anniversary of Sonic, but with the pandemic and everything else going on, they decided to push this title one more year to 2022, and honestly, I think that's a very, very smart idea. Like I said earlier in the video, this game was kind of like unveiled or revealed at the Game Awards, a very short cinematic teaser trailer that kind of showed Sonic in some sort of beautiful open world with a lot of lush green grass, some different environments, and some great animations. And honestly, my hype for this game was probably at its highest during the Game Awards trailer. So there's just so much mystery, there's so much what is this game gonna be about. And since then, you know, we've seen more content, we've seen more gameplay, and I think most people would say that they're a little nervous, to say the least. Before this game was even revealed, about 2-3 years ago, there was a big rumor that the Sonic team was trying to make a Sonic game, like kind of more like Breath of the Wild. So a big open environment, a lot of like mini puzzles, a lot of freedom, a lot of different things to do, a lot of different gameplay mechanics. And me personally, I just thought this was some stupid rumor, just like most of the rumors on Reddit. But it turns out it's pretty accurate. I mean, once we finally got to see some of this open world and the puzzles, and you know, there's just so many parallels to Breath of the Wild, and it's kind of crazy. The amount of similarities between Breath of the Wild and this game are insane. Even small things like Breath of the Wild's Korok seeds, I think there are little creatures in this game for Sonic Frontiers that give you small puzzles too for some reward. So I mean, it's just endless. The big part of Breath of the Wild was finding all the shrines, these spaces that were outside the traditional open world that were more linear or puzzle fixated or combat fixated. And in this game, for Sonic Frontiers, they have something called Cyberspace. And these are basically like shrines, and they have very linear, traditional Sonic stages. Sometimes they're in third person, sometimes they're side-scrolling. You've seen like a lot of the levels that you've seen in the past, like Green Hill Zone and other levels. These are short linear stages, similar to previous Sonic stages. And I mean, Breath of the Wild is great, but maybe it would be smart if Frontiers tried to do their own thing instead of just kind of ripping off another game. And you know the Sonic team's not going to be able to do as good a job as the Zelda team. Some other things that really struck me in these trailers, these gameplay trailers, is Sonic's movement. I mean, Sonic does look like he moves pretty fun. Like, it's going to be really great. A lot of the reviewers say it's movement based and momentum based, so you know, you're really going to have to pick which way you go and which hills you go up to try to get the maximum speed. Something that I don't love about the open world is all these random grind rails that seem to just be floating in space. I wish it was a little bit more organic. If you kind of compare it to Mario 3D World, in that game there's a lot of just like levels and platforms just floating in space. But then if you compare it to another game like Kirby's Forgotten World, there's a lot of platforms also, but they're more organically structured. Like, they make sense to be there. And in Sonic Frontiers, there's just a lot of platforms and grinding rails that just make no freaking sense. Like, why is there a grind rail just floating in the sky? Maybe as the game gets closer to coming out, we'll find more information about it, but right now it just makes very little sense to me. So the movement does look super fast and super fun. I know I was just complaining about all those grind rails, but it does look fun to like run up some structure, go on a grind rail, boost somewhere else, go on another grind rail, and really trying to like keep that momentum going and try to, parlay as many of these as possible. But as you see around this world, there are these enemies that just look very weird looking. They're not very engaging looking or creative. They look like some sort of weird robots from some weird science fiction movie that we've all forgotten about 10 times. They're just not creative. When I like my enemies in a video game, I like them to have character and, be memorable, and these just don't look like they'll be very memorable. And it's cool, you like run around them, and that creates some sort of energy blast. That looks fun. Some of the bosses, or the mini-bosses, do look fun because they're just huge, and I love in any game, verticality, when you have to run up something, and I love in any game like God of War, you're just fighting something that's 100 times your size. That's always really fun. I guess we're going to have to wait and see just like how fun the combat is in these games. I do wish that we had more enemies like the traditional ones that we've come to love throughout the years. I don't know all their names off the top of my head, but there's the ones that look like ladybugs and other bugs and bugs, because that's all Sonic seems to fight is bugs. But when it comes to nostalgia, it only works if it's something you remember from back in the day and they modernize it. I know I just mentioned God of War, but they totally, reinvented that series by taking Kratos from the traditional God of War into the new ones. But a lot of the enemy types were familiar. You just love to see old 2D enemies turn to 3D, and it just looks really cool. These enemies, I have no nostalgia for, and like they don't really do anything to me. I guess they're a little creepy. We actually know very little about what this story is going to be about. Just something about Sonic going through a wormhole and trying to find his friends. I guess that's a pretty traditional Sonic story. There's probably going to be some rings, there's going to be grind rails, as we all know. So we're going to have to wait and see. We've heard Amy Rose's voice. We're not sure if Dr. Robotnik's going to be in it, but I think actually in one of the trailers we saw something about Dr. Robotnik. So I'm curious if he's going to be an enemy or maybe turn into an ally and have to fight a common threat. That's pretty traditional for a lot of these games nowadays. But Sonic is so popular now. There's movies coming out and Sonic Origins that it's pretty much a good time for a new Sonic game. And I did want to just mention before this video ended, the art style and how it looks. I actually think it looks pretty good. I know some people think that Sonic his run animation looks a little weird, running uphill, climbing up mountains or robots looks weird. I think it looks pretty good in terms of the world. I know it looks empty right now, but it might not be a finished product, but I think the grass looks good. I think the actual Skyfall island actually looks okay. I mean, you see some open world games and they're just as bland as this one. At least this one looks a little lush with some with the grass and the bushes and the trees. So we'll really have to wait and see to the finished product. The Sonic team has said that everything that they've shown off has been an older build. I don't know why they would show that, not just a regular trailer, but exactly like I was just saying, we're going to have to wait and see to see if these graphics get any better and these worlds feel any more. So far, the only island we've seen is the Starfall Island, and I'm not sure if this whole game takes place on one big island or they're just hiding the other islands from us in terms of marketing. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I hope there is a bunch of different environments. Like, I don't need it to be a huge open world like Breath of the Wild, but if it's 5 big islands with a lot to do in each one of them. I know there's going to be like platforming challenges and puzzles. I just hope the puzzles are really fun also. Some of the puzzles we saw in the trailers just, look pretty simple or basic. I want them to be fun, and I want them to be like Sonic puzzles. I don't know what that even means, but I don't want just some random puzzles that could be in any generic game. I want them to be really, really fun. Also, we know that there's a bunch of other characters that we've come to love and know that are going to be in this game. Apparently, Tails is going to be in the game. Amy Rose is going to be in the game. I've even heard that Big the Cat is going to be in the game, but I'm not sure if that's real or not. That can't be real, right? Froggy's in this game, I might not pick it up just because of that. I mean, this game has potential, that's all I could say. I've done some research, and apparently they're expecting this game to be about 20 to 30 hours to beat the story, and then about 60 hours for full completion. So that's a pretty meaty game. I'm not sure if there's ever been a Sonic game that's that big. But it's also supposed to come out later this year, holidays 2023, on PlayStation 5, 4, Xbox, Nintendo Switch. Curious to see how this game runs on the Switch. This might be an Xbox or a PlayStation 5 game for me. But what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for Sonic Frontiers? Do you think the marketing at Sega really dropped the ball here? Are you still planning to pick it up? Let me know down in the comment section. I'll be sure to get back to you. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I am excited for Sonic Frontiers, but I just need more information. But I mean, I'm still interested. At the very least, it'll be a disaster, and a disaster we could all enjoy together. Anyway, guys, this is Turbo Jesse, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take care, everyone. Bye.